She loves the steak quarters.
Steak quarters.
She's got
Does she like the really big jumbo size?
This is one of the coins that she likes a lot.
Isn't that funny? I knew I liked your wife because I like these too. And my first one that we got was at the Denver Mint when we were there, and they have the little gift shop outside of the Denver Mint. I purchased one of these. Not this one in particular, but I've been trying to collect them, and Mike, oh Mike, they get more and more expensive.
It's crazy. Well, if we look at the Hawaii coin from 2010, the 5-ounce Hawaii coin from 2010, I think we might have some there. I think they're about $579 if we even have something somewhere along that. The one thing I want to show you about this is 5 ounces of pure silver. Look at this, $9.99 fine silver, 5 ounces, over 1/4 of a pound of silver.
Look at the sheer size.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's a regular quarter. This is actually a quarter. This is a coin made by the United States government that is literally, quite literally a quarter, but it's over 1/4 of a pound of silver. The United States government started the State Park Series, and they started the State Park Series in 2010. And inexplicably, for some reason, and I'm so glad they did because they created one of the great American collectibles, they started doing each one of those national parks quarters in 5 ounces of pure silver. It's like a really, really cool thing. But because it's 5 ounces of pure silver, they've made them in phenomenally limited quantities. They're some of the great American rarities. All the stuff from 2010. They're 5 ounces of silver. They made about 20,000 of them, or 22,000 of them, and those coins sell for anywhere between about $400 and $700 a piece. Well, what happened in 2017, they went back to that mintage. They only made about 20,000 of each one of the coins. Now, this is the last coin of 2017. I didn't even get to sell this in 2017. Because it had sold out. It came out towards the very end of the year. I finally got it in stock. And I have got, these are completely sold out from the United States Mint. This is my original issue price, as it was for the Hawaii when I released it, and 5 ounces of pure silver. They only made 20,000. If this was an American Silver Eagle, well, I can tell you, the 1995 W American Silver Eagle, they made 31,000 of. In this condition, it sells for about 5,000 bucks. It has 1 ounce of silver in it. This coin's about 30% rarer and has 5 ounces of silver, complete and total sold out, and not $5,000, but $199. And 95 cents. Like I said, they're long sold out from the United States Mint. I still have my original quantity and my original price. Understand, this combines fantastic and amazing intrinsic value with the rarities. One of the rarest, these are some of the rarest modern issue coins, and the vast majority of Americans don't even know they exist. You've been watching silver, it's up about, what, 10–15% over the last 6 or 8 weeks. It's a fantastic opportunity for you to own a coin that has got this tremendous backdrop of value. Now, I'm going to go very quickly. I wanted to introduce the 5-ounce coins. I have a couple of backdate coins. We're just going to spend about $1 million, just about $1 million.